We talk an awful lot about IRS Form 990 around here, and for good reason. It's the most critical annual compliance filing you have. So, what we don't talk about, however, is how best to prepare for Form 990 season. Well, today we're going to take a look at some of the best practices to make your next filing much easier. I'm Greg McRae from Foundation Group, and welcome to 501c3 University. Form 990 is a big deal. We recently posted a video about how your Form 990 is a window into your nonprofit, and it is. And it's also a challenging tax return to complete, but there are ways that you can prepare in advance to make sure the actual task of completing and filing Form 990 isn't quite so painful. Here's our top 5 best practices in no particular order. Best practice number 1. Have solid financial records. Now, this should be fairly obvious, shouldn't it? Sadly, that's not the case. You would be shocked at the number of nonprofits that fail to keep any financial records at all. Bank statements are all they have when Form 990 time comes along. Now, that's not only irresponsible, it's really a violation of the state and federal requirements that tax-exempt organizations maintain accurate books. So what exactly does it mean to have solid financials? Number 1, use a real bookkeeping app or accounting software. There are a number of fantastic web-based accounting apps that are affordable and can help you keep accurate records of income and expenses, plus provide you with periodic financial reports. Don't rely solely on written records to track activity. Also, while desktop accounting software is perfectly fine, we prefer online apps due to the ability to log on from anywhere you have an internet connection, plus it makes it easier to provide your bookkeeper, accountant, or tax preparer access. Number 2, keep your records current. It's not enough that you've got the right tools. You actually have to use them properly and regularly. It's easy to find yourself several months behind reconciling your books, so stay on top of it. You don't want to be trying to play catch up with 8 months worth of books when your Form 990 is due soon. Now, your book should reflect accounting standards for nonprofits. Now, this is a tough one, particularly for those who are keeping their own books. It's great that you've got an accounting app. Even better that you're putting all of your transactions into it and reconciling monthly. But if you don't know how to properly account for certain things, such as restricted gifts, or if your chart of accounts is a disaster, you're not really ahead of the game. You might look good on screen, but someone may have to invest a lot of time fixing the problems before a Form 990 can actually be completed. Hire a professional bookkeeper who knows how to do it right. Shameless plug. Foundation Group provides full-service monthly bookkeeping to hundreds of charities and nonprofits. We'll put a link in the description below. Best practice number 2 is keep good donor records. It's just as important to accurately track your donor data as it is to keep your financials in good order. For one, they're related, and 2, you're going to need this information readily available to provide the IRS a list of your biggest contributors, plus to calculate your annual public support percentage. We recently posted a video about the public support test, so check that out. We recommend you track donations in an online app designed for nonprofits. Now, there's lots of them out there. The more robust apps, they're great for true donor cultivation. They're really like a CRM for nonprofits. They can also be quite expensive. Smaller charities may be able to get by with something more streamlined and affordable. The important thing is to keep this information organized and don't get rid of prior year information. The public support test calculation we mentioned earlier, that requires a 5-year rolling average of donor data. Best practice number 3, keep track of activities and accomplishments. Most nonprofits keep financial records and donor history, the first 2 things I talked about. Even if they're a mess, the records are there, but relatively few organizations think to record the accomplishments and activities as the year rolls along. Form 990 has a section in it that requires you to list your individual charitable programs by name and purpose and then describe in detail what was accomplished during the year. Things like a description of the program itself, the number of people served, income and expenses allocated to the activity, and whether or not this was a new program or the continuation of an existing one. You can always try to summarize this activity later, but it's far better to keep track of it as it happens, making that one less thing you're scrambling to put together at Form 990 time. Best practice number 4, Get on it early this year. Admit it, you're a procrastinator. Most people are, but please don't procrastinate when it comes to getting your information ready to file Form 990. Now here's a mild tax accountant's rant. There's a reason that our compliance team works 16-hour days between May 1st and May 15, then again between November 1st and November 15. And trust me, it's not because they want to. Clients drag their feet about getting their information to us, waiting until the 11th hour to send it in. And they don't understand why we can't turn around their return by the due date, not realizing that 100 other clients procrastinated too. Every tax firm deals with this reality. But it's not just a rant. While it's frustrating to us, it's really bad for you. Filing a late Form 990 subjects your nonprofit to a penalty of $20 a day plus compound interest every day that your return is late. We've seen penalty assessments in the thousands of dollars, and if your organization brings in over $1 million a year, the penalty is $100 a day. So don't procrastinate with your nonprofit's fiduciary responsibility. Get on it early this year. And our final best practice tip is work with a professional. As the old saying goes, you don't know what you don't know. Well, these are very true words when it comes to Form 990 preparation. Form 990 is a complex tax return. It requires in-depth knowledge of nonprofit tax law and compliance, plus accounting standards for nonprofits. And very few charitable organizations have someone on the inside with the necessary experience to prepare an accurate return. Still, we frequently see nonprofits attempt it on their own, usually to save money, or so they think. That rarely works out, as mistakes can result in an IRS audit or require someone to amend the return and fix the mess. Whether you choose to work with us or someone else, just make sure they are a qualified professional. You'll thank yourself later. Well, that's it for this episode. We hope this little list provides you with some insight on how to make your next Form 990 filing season just a little bit easier. If you liked this video, be sure and hit the like button. It really does help us get this out to more people. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget the little bell icon to be notified when we put up new content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.